Hello, this is John, Clock Repairs Merseyside. I was just about to, I'd just been given, got sent a message by YouTube that I could do some live video streaming. To be honest with you, I just tried it. It's really a miss, so I'm probably not going to bother. I was going to bother because sometimes when I'm out and I meet people, I go to auctions and stuff, and there's some interesting clocks which it'd be a good thing to maybe do a live with. But really, if it's not going to work, it's going to be pointless. But I thought I may as well just do videos anyway. I mean, what's the difference? I'll just do them anyway. It's something I've not thought of, except when I was going to do that church clock. So while I'm here, I just thought I'd have a little scan around my workshop again and maybe do just a general chit chat about things. Now, I don't think I've videoed this before. This is my, I think it's a Schublin. It's a pillar drill, type of pillar drill, but it's a watchmaker's pillar drill, but it's quite handy for what we do. We've got a very cheap Chinesium clamp in it just to pretty much hold a few things. We've filed it and modified it slightly just to hold a few bits and pieces. It just gets used for tiny things, really. We actually got this Microscope, which is obviously a microscope. It's an excellent piece of kit. It really is an excellent piece of kit. It's a real game changer. I mean, if you put a clock plate underneath there, I mean, you can see, does it need bushing? And honestly, it shows that, you know, what you should be doing and what, you know, especially where carriage clocks are concerned, because, you know, obviously where your escapement is, you know, your crown wheel and that, sometimes then bushes need replacing, and, you know, it needs really bushing in there, and you can really get a good look at it, you know, and you can say, oh yeah, most definitely, let's get that done. But yeah, it's, as I say, it's nothing you haven't seen before. There's always a few little bits and pieces we're doing modifications. I've actually, I had problems with this lathe, and I actually had to, it kept on stopping all the time, and I found it to be this speed control. It's actually off at the moment. The speed controller was the problem, but now it's working fine. I was really disappointed, really disappointed. And I actually, in the process of this, I got this out. I mean, we would, you know, to polish pivots and stuff like that. I mean, that's a cracking little piece of kit. That, I mean, that's a peerless lathe. You've seen it on my videos before, but it's you know, it's fantastic. It just isn't big enough. You know, we can't. You're quite limited with clocks with it. You know, it can do pivot polishing. You might be able to do a little bit of work on French clocks with it, but you know, you're really pushing your luck with it, really. I've just actually purchased a Myford Super 7, and my other lathe is up for sale on eBay, and also the mill is up for sale on eBay, because I can do a little bit of milling on the Myford Super 7. I mean, I've always wanted a Myford Super 7, and this one came up and I really couldn't resist, and so I bought it and I put the others up for sale. So someone's going to get a real bargain with the Drummond and the thing, and I'll actually do another little video on them in a minute. Let you have a look at them. They're set up in the other workshop. What we were saying before about clocks and the way we do things, I mean, here's a grandfather clock here now. Steve's actually working on this. I think he's got to do a bit of bushing work on it. But you see, the plates are nice and shiny. It's that hand finishing that gives you that. I mean, you know, I know that I've spoke to people, and I think there is things out there that do it and give it that shine and stuff like that. But you know, everything we do, you know, it's hand finished, literally hand finished. I mean, a couple of springs in that, and it's hand finished. You know, we don't really just leave them with that dull look. I mean, a lot of this is because of the repair shop. I mean, being honest with you, a shiny movement doesn't make the clock work any better. I mean, you know, a well lubricated and set up movement is what makes the difference in a clock. It's certainly not the, you know, it's certainly nothing to do with how shiny the movement is, as long as it's clean, pegged out, and, you know, pivots are polished if they need be, or it's bushed as it needs be. You know, your clock's going to work well for many years, especially if it's an older clock, a quality clock. It'll work really well. as I say, just coming round. I mean, that's my bench I work from, really. Got my bench light there, got my radio. My computer, we do some invoicing from time to time, well, pretty much all the time, really. And obviously search for some parts and order bits and pieces from various clock supply houses if we have to. That's a press, I think it's a 1/2 ton press. I mean, that's used for pressing mainspring barrels, top lids on, really. I mean, you know, we can pop it in there, we can move this plate about here, you know, to, you know, the arbor will go in that groove there, and then we'll sort of give it a gentle press. We don't go mad. We don't go mad with it at all. And we come over here, we've got a fusee clock. Being cleaned, ready to be reassembled. Everything there, it's a time only, so pretty straightforward for us, no problem at all. And that'll be put together, regulated if need be, and then left on test for quite a while. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the thing. As I said to you, at the present moment in time, I'm waiting to get rid of the Drummond, you know, and the mill, and then I'm going to get me Super 7 in right across the back of the other small shed, should I say, and that's gonna, and I've got a milling attachment for it, and so we have to do it. I mean, we don't do a lot of milling, really. I mean, so that's what I thought to myself. I don't really need a mill. I mean, it's basically, the mill's getting used as a glorified drill press, really. I mean, and even that's not a lot, if you know what I mean, because we're always, you know, drilling a hole, and then we're broaching it out to size to fit a bush, or, you know, so just pretty much general clockmaking. You know, we're not you know, we've got to get it done. I mean, that's what it's got to be. It's not so much the fact of getting it done for the money, by the way. It's more getting it done because if we don't get things done and we don't get them out and turned around, I mean, we just haven't got the space. I mean, you know, you get 6 wall clocks in, and 6 mantle clocks and a few bracket clocks, and that's us. I mean, we're chocker. You know, I'm actually using my house and everything to store stuff sometimes. I mean, you know, luckily, you know, I'm not married no more. I mean, I don't think she'd have been happy with me. I mean, that would have been, I think, grounds for divorce straight away anyway. But, you know, I'm on my own now, and I intend to pretty much stay that way. Not going through all that again. Yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at. Little vice there. But just, you know, generally hold stuff in, file it, whatever we're going to do with that. Pretty much just just a general clockmaker's workshop. Anyway, that's it for this workshop for now. A couple of mountain clocks up there. I mean, oh yeah, and there's the clock movement on the wall on a bracket with some stands. As I was mentioning before about that bracket clock, you see them little stands there that are standing it off from the wall? Well, we have them, and they're sort of twice as long as that. So what we can actually do is we can put them on the back of movements, and we can sort of lift it up off the bench, obviously, to work on it. And obviously you sometimes need the longer stands because you've got various things sticking out the back, such as hammer assemblies and stuff like that. So, you know, it's always you know, good to keep everything, you know, away and free, and you don't want to be bending things and that. But yeah, I mean, I think if I knew about this microscope, just getting completely from something different, I'd have bought that a long while ago. I mean, it's a great little piece of kit, it really is. And it's got the facilities. You can actually, you know, video, and you can do, you know, take pictures with the scope itself of things. I mean, we may use them in the future, just depending on what we're doing. But at this present minute in time, we're just getting on with repairs, really. But I think as time goes on, as I think I mentioned in the other 2 videos, I mean, we're probably going to end up being pushed away from all the mantle clocks and stuff. I mean, because really, I mean, it's that space thing. I mean, when they're in, we have a couple of wall clocks in. I mean, when they're in, I mean, you know, you're getting pulled away from stuff you really like doing, you know, such as, you know, your bracket clocks and your grandfather clocks, and, you know, your French stuff. I mean, I love French clocks. I mean, really better stuff, you know, to work with. Qualities there, and then I do love making parts. I mean, I actually like repairing pocket watches, to be fair. I mean, my family are all watchmakers, really. Well, my uncle and my two great grandfathers and stuff were watchmakers. One of them come from the Prescott area, actually. But yeah, I mean, so being honest with you, I am my true passion. I actually have. I'll just come down here. I know this is a really random video, but I didn't expect to do it. This watch here, something completely different. That watch there was made by my great grandfather, called Henry Stanley of Liverpool. Now, I found that on Etsy, and all it is the movements and the dial, nothing else with it, no case, no nothing. And there's another story to this, but I'm not going to go into that now. But I actually add the parts to completely sort it all out. I mean, it needed that, you know, the balance staff was gone, you know, the mainspring was gone, the fusee chain was snapped. I mean, you know, it's not in a good state. Normally I wouldn't even bother. I mean, I do have quite a lot of I've probably got hundreds of pocket watch movements, and I've got some nice early silver pocket watches of my own, really, which I've collected, probably about 30 of them, something like that. Various types, you know, mainly a lot of English, very few American, mainly English and Swiss. And I do like them, but I actually, being honest, I used the parts off it to fix another pocket watch which was going on that program. Who do you think you are? You know, some guy brought it here for me. He wanted it repaired. It's actually listed in the book that he gave him, and I mean, all the parts that I needed for his pocket watch I had for my grandfather's pocket watch. And so me being me, I just yeah, okay, I'll get it done for you. He was in his 90s, and I thought, you know, let's get this done for him. And it was made by his grandson or something. It was made by his some you know, distant relation. His family were all watchmakers as well. So I thought to myself, I'll get that done. I'll get that done for him. So I spent a bit of time on that and got it running, and I was quite happy. Solved a few mysteries in his family for him. I found a few signatures and one thing and another which they were looking for. They knew they existed, but you know the thing. So for me, as I've said, clock and watchmaking, especially clockmaking, obviously that's how I earn my living, but you know, clockmaking for me, I mean, it's me life really now. I mean, absolutely love it. Love every aspect. I was going to do some live videos, as I said, about you know, as I was on me roundabout. I have a few friends and some people who people may recognise as clockmakers, and you know, the big members of the BHI and stuff like that. So maybe I'll be able to have a little chat with them at some time and do a video about it. Might be interesting. I've got a lot of connections in the Prescott area. And there's a clock in Eccleston Street getting constructed at the minute. I know who's doing the work on that. I know them personally as well, so I'll be able to do some videos on stuff like that. It's just all when I get a chance. It's all when I get a chance, but hopefully it'll be of interest to people, because as I say, my life is just about horology. It's not just about doing repairs and earning money. It's about the actual, you know, I'm a great believer in preserving our horological past, if I can, for future people, because I think this day and age, with all these quartz clocks and some of the junk that's around now, I don't think people realise that this stuff exists, and the actual quality and the workmanship that goes into it. Anyway, I'm just going to pop over to my other workshop, and I'm going to do a video on my lathe and my mill, see if there's anyone interested. So this is John from Clock Repairs Merseyside. If you like me stuff, please subscribe. Gives me a bit of a boost when I know people are looking at stuff. Please subscribe and give me a like, and hopefully I'll come back time willing with many more things that may interest some people. Okay, thank you.